Have you ever felt the crushing weight of loving someone who gradually stopped caring about you? Watch them transform from the person who couldn't spend a moment without you into someone completely cold, distant, and unbothered. Natural human reaction to emotional abandonment is panic. You begin overanalyzing every text, questioning your worth, and desperately pleading for a fraction of their attention. But in human psychology, chasing someone who is pulling away never restores their love. It only destroys your value. When someone withdraws their affection, most people make the fatal mistake of operating from fear. They send long paragraphs of emotional explanations, sacrifice their self-respect, and make themselves endlessly available, hoping to earn back affection through compliance. However, psychology reveals that attraction, respect, and deep emotional value operate on laws of mystery, emotional independence, and boundaries. When you continue to pour your energy into someone who takes you for granted, you feed their ego while bankrupting your own soul. If you are tired of feeling invisible, feeling anxious, and begging for basic respect, it is time to break the cycle. In this video, we will explore the deep psychological mechanics of attraction, how to shatter predictability, and how to build an aura so powerful that people naturally respect, value, and seek your presence. When someone begins to treat you with indifference, the most common advice you will find online is to apply the no contact rule or give them the silent treatment. People tell you to instantly disappear, block their phone number, or ignore their presence. However, blindly applying silent treatment without understanding emotional mechanics almost always fails. If you go silent immediately after a heated argument where hurtful words were exchanged, you are not creating desire or reflection. You are simply creating an ego war. When both individuals withdraw behind their respective egos, intimacy dies and emotional resentment takes its place. Consider a modern real-life scenario. Imagine Sarah and Mark, who have been dating for several months. Mark suddenly becomes distant, taking hours to reply to texts while remaining fully active on social media. Driven by anxiety, Sarah sends multiple angry messages, accusing him of losing interest. When Mark responds with cold indifference, Sarah impulsively blocks him everywhere to give him the silent treatment. In Sarah's mind, blocking Mark was a tactical move to make him realize her worth and fear losing her. But in Mark's mind, her reaction was registered as emotional instability and pettiness. Instead of missing her, he felt relieved that the chaos had paused. When Sarah eventually broke her silence 2 weeks later with a long, emotional text, Mark realized she had been waiting for him all along. Her superficial attempt at distance completely backfired. Silent treatment fails when it is used as a manipulative bluff. If you go silent on the outside while constantly checking their profile, asking mutual friends about them, or sweating over every phone chime, your energetic desperation is still reaching them. True distance is not a weapon to manipulate someone else into reacting. It is a quiet boundary set to protect your own dignity. If superficial silence does not reignite value, what actually alters human perception? The answer lies in genuine, holistic self-transformation. Human psychology responds far more intensely to authentic personal evolution than to dramatic, silent games. When you stay in someone's life while remaining completely stagnant, predictable, and needy, you create psychological fatigue. Think of human nature in simple terms. No one seeks out abandoned, decaying parks filled with withered plants and dark shadows. Human beings are naturally drawn to vibrant, clean, well-maintained environments, brimming with life, light, and energy. When you allow your physical health, ambitions, personal style, and social life to wither because you are obsessed with a single relationship, you become like that forgotten garden. You offer no new thoughts, no vibrant energy, and no mystery left to discover. In psychological studies, This is closely tied to the novelty effect. The human brain is hardwired to pay attention to shifts, updates, and quiet evolutions in their environment. The moment someone believes they have completely figured you out, their curiosity drops to zero. When you make genuine high-level changes in your lifestyle, their brain receives a sharp wake-up call. This evolution must be total. It means upgrading your physical health, refining your wardrobe and posture, expanding your intellectual horizons, building financial independence, and cultivating a vibrant social existence. When your internal identity changes, your external presence commands immediate subconscious recognition. Consider Alex. Found himself in a dynamic where his partner treated him like an afterthought, constantly canceling plans and responding with cold brevity. Instead of starting endless arguments, Alex made a quiet decision to undergo a complete personal overhaul. He enrolled in an intense fitness regimen, dove into professional advancement, adopted a refined wardrobe, and stopped initiating habit-driven contact. A month later, when his partner encountered him at a gathering, Alex was visibly changed. He was composed, radiant with confidence, and engaged in deep conversation with others. He did not act bitter or seeking revenge. He was simply living a rich life that did not depend on her validation. The shock of seeing this dynamic version of Alex instantly reignited her curiosity, breaking her belief that he would wait forever. At the core of being taken for granted lies extreme certainty. When someone knows beyond a shadow of a doubt that regardless of how poorly they treat you, you will always be sitting in the exact same spot waiting for them, your value plummets. Human beings rarely treasure what comes with zero risk of loss. You must destroy their subconscious assumption that you are a permanent safety net. Right now, that person believes you lack the inner strength to walk away. They assume that if they ignore you for 3 days, you will still respond within 3 seconds. They operate with complete emotional security, while you live in constant fear of abandonment. To flip this dynamic, you must systematically break their predictions. When they expect you to react with emotional outburst, respond with calm, polite brevity. When they expect you to plead for their time, redirect your attention entirely to your own pursuits. This brings us to a crucial psychological principle, the forbidden fruit effect. Human psychology inherently desires what feels rare, self-contained, or difficult to obtain. When you make yourself endlessly available, accommodating every last-minute demand and accepting breadcrumbs of attention, you destroy your rarity. Imagine a scenario where a partner who has been ignoring you for days suddenly reaches out at the last minute, asking you to meet up purely at their convenience. In the past, you would have dropped your work, your hobbies, and your self-respect to run to them, fearing that saying no would push them away. The new framework requires you to master the art of the calm refusal. You gently state, "I have plans at that time, so I won't be able to make it today. Let's look at another time." Do not offer defensive excuses or long explanations. Over-explaining stems from guilt. A polite, unwavering refusal communicates that your time and life have inherent structure. When you demonstrate that you are capable of saying no without fear of losing the other person, their perception of you undergoes a fundamental shift. The illusion that they own your availability shatters. They realize that your presence in their life is a privilege, not an entitlement. In human interactions, relationships instinctively settle into frames: dominant or submissive, independent or dependent. The moment you expose all your emotional wounds and insecurities to someone who is actively disrespecting you, you surrender your standing completely. There is a vast difference between healthy vulnerability in a safe, loving relationship and desperate weakness in a distant dynamic. When you tell someone who is pulling away, "I can't sleep without you. I am losing my mind. My whole life is ruined when you ignore me," You are not inspiring compassion. You are inspiring psychological discomfort and loss of respect. When you reveal your exact emotional triggers to someone who does not value you, you hand them the controls to your emotional state. It is the equivalent of revealing an unhealed physical injury during a fight. If they know that blocking you or ignoring your messages drives you to utter desperation, they will use that exact tactic whenever they want to control you. Suppose your primary anxiety is a fear of being blocked or ghosted, and you explicitly plead, "Please, do whatever you want, just don't block me." You have handed them total leverage. The next time a disagreement arises, they will instantly block you, knowing it forces you into panic and submission. To build an aura of power, you must master emotional shielding. A high-value aura is built through composure, self-regulation, and quiet certainty. When you speak with clear intent. When you make a decision, stick to it without constantly seeking validation or second-guessing yourself. If you state that a certain behavior is unacceptable to you, uphold that standard. Do not retract your boundaries the moment they display slight anger or distance. People may disagree with your boundaries in the short term, but they will always respect your strength to enforce them in the long term. One of the most destructive emotional traps occurs when someone treats you with erratic, hot and cold behavior. This mechanism relies on intermittent reinforcement, one of the most addictive psychological patterns in human nature. One day, they fill your life with attention, compliments, and affection. And the next 4 days, they treat you with complete coldness and silence. Your mind becomes trapped in an obsessive attempt to solve the riddle. You replay past interactions endlessly, asking yourself, what did I do wrong on Monday that caused them to go cold on Tuesday? You start overcompensating, giving more love and effort just to chase that temporary high of their approval. In reality, you did nothing wrong. The other person is simply leveraging uncertainty to maintain control. To break free from this cycle, you must stop operating on emotional reaction and transition to intellectual clarity. When they pull away and go cold, do not chase them demanding explanations. Match their distance with calm, neutral composure. Instantly redirect 100% of your focus back to your own life, your purpose, and your growth. Recognize that your worth is non-negotiable. You do not need to perform tricks, tolerate disrespect, or abandon your self-esteem to win a place in someone's life. When you stop offering unearned devotion, the balance shifts entirely. The cold, unbothered person is suddenly confronted with the quiet reality of your absence. They will begin to wonder why their sudden withdrawal no longer triggers your desperation. They will begin to question if you have outgrown them, realized your worth, or moved on entirely. The fear of loss, which previously consumed your mind, will quietly transition into theirs. Never forget that the highest form of self-love is having the courage to step away from spaces where your presence is not valued. Build a life so rich, purposeful, and grounded in self-respect that another person's affection is merely a beautiful addition to your life, never the foundation of your identity. When you honor your own soul, the world has no choice but to respect your presence.